to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss.
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me keep on running toes. They gonna take
this is what we got to tell.
Man doing this.
I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
What is going on? What's going on in the sports world? What's up with everybody, man? It's Super Bowl special week. This is the finale we have today. And I know you see me. Yeah, fresh new cut. I get it. But I got somebody special with me today. Somebody that I've known for 10 plus years. He's been on the show before. My guy, LB, Lamar B. Shannon. How you doing today, my guy?
What's good, man? Feeling great as usual, man. Just every day is a blessing. How you feel? Hey, man, look, man. You got the fresh cut. I thought I'd never see this day, man. I'm just be honest with you.
Hey, you're not the only one. I talked to my pops on the phone today. He saw me on FaceTime. He was like, "Whoa!" So it's taking a lot of people off guard. But look, man, I feel lighter. I feel my energies. It feels a lot better, man. I'm just excited about everything, and I hope y'all are excited to hear us talk about these topics we got, because we know what's happening on Sunday. We know who's playing. It's the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs for the Super Bowl championship. Mahomes is looking to three-peat, and the Eagles looking to ruin that. The Eagles also ruined another thing that happened before. When they paid the Patriots back in 2017 in the Super Bowl.
That's true.
They ended something, man. And they have the opportunity to do something like that again. It's crazy. And it's an AFC, and it's a team that they're talking about in the same breath as the Patriots. So I think it's about time that we get to talk about what's going to happen today.
But hey, look, real quick, man. I just had to mention it because I was like, once again, you said something profound there. I don't know which one is more difficult to see, is if we're gonna see a three-peat or if I were to see you ever cut your hair. I know we was off that topic for a quick second. I just had to bring that up, man. I don't know. I ain't know if Jesus was coming back before that or not. Like I was just saying.
Wow. I thought you was gonna keep it backstage, but I thought you figured you bring it to the last show. Okay.
You my man's, man. I mean, hey, people gotta hear. The people gotta hear.
You're right. But look, man, I'm really excited about today's show. Of course, you don't see Joe and Tomo with me today, but it's all right. Y'all still gonna get some great content today because you got me and you got LB. So we about to light it up today. It's Friday. We know what they do on Fridays. We ain't at the club. We ain't doing that. We ain't popping no bottles or nothing. But guess what? We still gonna have fun today. And we still gonna turn up. So let's turn up.
Turn me up.
Now I can't say Jody do your thing because Jody ain't here. So Davey Dollar's gonna do his thing. So but yeah, we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and X. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on each platform. We are on the way to 2,000 subscribers. We are getting subscribers every single day. And we had a huge guest last night. We had Sharif Miller, who was a 4th-round pick from the Philadelphia Eagles, on the show yesterday. He was drafted in 2019 out of Penn State. He's Philly born and raised, and it was a huge dream come true. Make sure you go watch that episode. It was a fire episode yesterday, just to hear somebody that was in the NFL, who also played in the XFL, and it was a really good college player. So it's good to hear about from somebody like that that's been in the lead, someone that knows Saquon Barkley, someone that's been around this Eagles team. So it's good it's refreshing to hear something like that. But no matter where you are, share this video because we got some great content that's going to come out today. We got some great topics. We got to talk about who's going to win the Super Bowl, who's going to win and why. The NFL Honors was also last night. Eli Manning is not he won the first ballot Hall of Famer. But it's some NFL Honors that went on last night. Josh Allen's the MVP. Saquon Barkley won Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year might have surprised some people. So we got to talk about it, Lamar. Who do you think, Lamar, got snubbed from the NFL Honors yesterday? Because we had the Offensive Rookie of the Year. We know Jaden Daniels. That's without question. We knew he was going to get that one. I don't think anyone's surprised about that one. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Jared Verse. So that was a huge year for him as a rookie.
Yep.
Coach of the Year went to Dan Campbell. I mean, yeah, I understood that. Then Ben Johnson won, Assistant Coach of the Year. Figured that was going to happen. But, man, who do you think got snubbed? I know Josh Allen was the MVP. Defensive Player of the Year was PS2. Patrick Surtain II. Who you think was snubbed, Lamar?
Gotcha. Well, you know what? It would be easy to just say, because I like my name. I think it's the year of the Lamar. It could have been Lamar Jackson. Kendrick Lamar just went around with 5 Grammys. We got to check on Drake out, make sure he's okay. But and I'm on the show now, so it's easy to maybe bring up Lamar, But sometimes you kind of get that in the NBA where people kind of get that. I don't know if you want to call it fatigue, voters fatigue. They don't want to vote for the same person over and over. So I get the Josh Allen thing, right? But for me, I'm actually going to do something a little different before I give you who I thought got snubbed. I'm going to bring up an idea that they could have done. I know they weren't going to do it, but they could have did this if they wanted to, right? So Verse, obviously he got the defensive, Rookie of the Year. We know that. Jaden Daniels could have just won the overall, Rookie of the Year because I saw something, they saying it was like 3 different things, unless I'm mistaken. And when I was reading something online, this offense, defense, then they have whoever they think is overall. But maybe I could be wrong, right? And then offensive, somebody that actually broke a record this year, not just because they on one of my teams, but Brock Bowers, right? If you actually look at his stats, right, he just broke the record, and I actually got the stats here, top 5 of all time. Sam Laporta, 889 yards in 2023. Jeremy Shockey, 894 yards in 02, right? Throwback. That's the U right there, baby, right? Kyle Pitts, right? 1,026, a sleeper, right? And actually, if he's with it, hey, Kyle, just let Atlanta know you disgruntled. Adam Peters will bring you over here. I'll tell you. I know we just drafted somebody last year, but we can use you, right? Mike Ditka, right? 1961, 1,076. And then Brock Bowers, 1,194 yards, just 6 yards shy of 1,200 yards as a tight end, and add 5 tutties with it. So, I think that they could have did that if they wanted, but I think we all understood that Jaden was hands down. They were going to give it to him because what he did was just no other QB has done that. Not a great defense. He was the main guy. So, but to answer your question, the snub, honestly, I thought it was such a magical year. I get they wanted Dan Campbell. Kevin O'Connell was in the mix, but I think Dan Quinn, why not? You took a team that had the number 2 overall pick. No, look, because think about it. Dan Campbell, remember, they went 12-5, I think, last year or something like that, something similar. So they were expected to be good. I had to win in the division. Minnesota, yeah, we kind of got injured, right? But nobody thought the Commanders were going to be there. So I think Dan Quinn could have had it. I think he got a little snub. I think he should have had it in the mix. So that's my opinion.
Hey, that's great. It's good that you brought up Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers actually did me a lot of service for my fantasy football league. I mean, it didn't help out because I didn't make the playoffs, of course. I mean, that didn't happen. But still, he was a bright spot on my fantasy football team, and he definitely had a phenomenal year this year. Brock Bowers was if you want to go by this season, he was probably the best tight end in the league this year, and that's for this year. I'm not saying he's the best tight end period, but for this season, he definitely played the best tight end out of everybody, and that's including Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Dallas Goedert, Mark Andrews, whatever tight end you want to name. He had the best season overall from any tight end. This was his first season in the NFL. He had to deal with Gardner Minshew. He had to deal with other quarterbacks on his team. He didn't have a solidified number one quarterback. And that's also with no run game for real and no other weapon on the outside because Devontae Adams got traded later in the season and no one else was really doing anything.
Right.
So that was good. My snub for this season for me, even though I personally voted for TJ Watt to be the defensive player of the year, I feel like Trey Hendrickson got robbed of the defensive player of the year because he had a phenomenal season, 17 and a half sacks this year. He was one of the best tacklers. He was definitely an enforcer. He was top 5 in pressures this year. I feel like he got robbed of this. Not saying that PS2 is not a great cornerback because he is. Don't get me wrong. PS2 had a great season as a quarterback. But I really thought that Trey Hendrickson should have won the Defensive Player of the Year award. He had a phenomenal season this year on a team that was, the defense wasn't necessarily that good. So I guess I understand it. Defense overall wasn't good for the Cincinnati Bengals. They fired their defensive coordinator, of course. But he got a job instantly with the Colts. I don't understand that. I don't know. But he had a phenomenal season this year, and I feel like he should have gotten the nod. But like I said, I'm not mad at them giving it to PS2 because he had a phenomenal season. He was, to me, the best cornerback that played this year because we all heard about Sauce Gardner possibly being number one overall, and he got baked this year. So he did not have a good season this year. But for me, it was Trey Hendrickson, and of course Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is my other one. I get the voters fatigue thing, and then people want to say, Josh Allen did it without no weapons. Well, Lamar Jackson been doing that his entire career with the Ravens. You tell me what number one wide receiver he has. People still don't consider people still don't consider Zay Flowers a number one overall wide receiver. They just call him a slot receiver. So he ain't Justin Jefferson. He not Jamar Chase. He not AJ Brown. He not CeeDee Lamb. He not these top 5 wide receivers in the league. He ain't one of them. Right. He ain't even top 10, I don't think. So he still doesn't have a top weapon as a wide receiver right now. He got Mark Andrews, and we saw what he did in that playoff game against the Bills. So he got that. And they say, well, he got Derrick Henry. He was putting up these kind of numbers before Derrick Henry even got there.
Well, that's a fact.
Now I know he didn't throw. I know this is his first time throwing for over 4,000 yards, but he's thrown for over 3,000 yards before. So it's not the first time he's done that. Yeah, he's ran over 1,000 yards. So he's had a 4,000 yard season before. So it's not the first time he's done that. He's a dynamic quarterback. So for people to say that Josh Allen deserved it because he didn't have no weapons, they had to go get him Amari Cooper. It's not, Amari Cooper just didn't play well. And then Keon Coleman got hurt a little bit. And then people forget that his running back had the most rushing touchdowns in the league. He has 17 rushing touchdowns in this season. Like, are you serious right now?
That's true. And still put up good numbers alongside
James Cook was cooking. So he had a phenomenal season. And people tried to say for a while that he had no running backs. He had a running backs. It's just that his offensive coordinator was not running the ball that much. They kept putting it in Josh Allen's hand, which is why he was so turnover worthy within the last few seasons. Now I get it. He only has 6 interceptions this year. Bravo.
That's great for him.
I believe it should have went to Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson was the MVP of the league this season, and I feel like he got snubbed.
Yeah, that's fair. Once again, I say it's the year of Lamar Jackson, Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Big things coming over here too. So yeah, I can't disagree with that. Lamar Jackson was definitely on one. Sure. Absolutely. And then we got a question about a guy who's eliminated both of these quarterbacks within the last 2 seasons. Last year in the AFC Championship game, he got Lamar up out of there. This year, he got Josh Allen up out of there. And he's looking to go back to back
for the first time in NFL history. No one else has done that.
Nope.
So, gotta ask the people. With a win this Sunday, where does that put? With the win this Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl Sunday, where will that put Patrick Mahomes as far as quarterbacks or as far as NFL players in NFL history? I'm going to say this.
Okay.
I have been trying to hold on for a while to say that, Joe Montana is still the second best quarterback in NFL history. We all know consensus is Tom Brady is the number one quarterback in NFL history. He got 7 Super Bowl titles. I mean, there's nothing you can just say about that. He got 7. But Montana, 4-0, and 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the Super Bowl game. So he's been pretty much perfect. But Patrick Mahomes has 3 in his first 5 seasons in the NFL.
7 straight
championships, man. 7 straight AFC championships. Since he's become a starter in the NFL, the AFC championship is the Chiefs Invitational. You can pretty much say that.
Chiefs Invitational.
If Patrick Mahomes wins this Super Bowl on Sunday, I think it's without a doubt. It's without question. He's the second best quarterback ever to play, and probably the second best player to ever play. People might have a lot. People may say, no, you still got to talk about prime. You still got to talk about Jerry Rice. I get it. I love Jerry Rice. That's my goat. That's my goat. I'll tell you that right now. But Patrick Mahomes deserves it, man. No one else has been on a run like this. And he will have done something that has never been done in the NFL. To three-peat.
It's true.
To three-peat. And it's crazy, Lamar. I found out who came up with the word three-peat. And he's a part of the Miami Heat organization. Pat Riley, the Godfather. He came up with it. He trademarked it. He's the first person to say that, and he trademarked three-peat. So if they three-peat, guess who's going to make some money off of that? Pat Riley. So I have a small interest in them three-peating just so Pat Riley can make some money. But other than that, it don't really matter to me.
So finally, you did something right. Wake up.
Finally. Although I'm not mad at Pat for what he did for the trade deadline. I think that's pretty okay. I'm fine with what he did. I don't like what I'm hearing that he did when he had a meeting with Jimmy back in January. I heard that he was crying. I don't know what's up with that, Pat. But yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes definitely solidifies himself as the second best quarterback overall in NFL history if he wins that, because that'll be 4 championships and 5 Super Bowl tries. So that would be ridiculous for him. I mean, it's nothing else you can really say about him when it comes to that, and that definitely puts him in the GOAT conversation. I think people have already been talking about him being in the GOAT conversation. We know the top 3 quarterbacks in NFL history is Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana, and Tom Brady. There's still arguments that go for Joe Montana right now, but there's nothing you could say about it if Patrick Mahomes wins this one, and it's a three-peat. Like I said, no one else has ever done this. No one else has done this. The last team to go, back to back was, them. They don't went back to back. Before them, it was Tom Brady and the Patriots to go back to back. So he will have done something that Tom Brady hasn't done, Terry Bradshaw hasn't done, Troy Aikman hasn't done, John Elway hasn't done, Peyton Manning hasn't done. You can name any quarterback in NFL history that has a Super Bowl championship. No one has ever three-peated. Not one. So that's something that will solidify that. And then his career is still going. He's just now entering his prime for real. So his career is still going. He still has at least another 7-8 years to go in the NFL and play at this kind of a level, kind of. So some people may say he may have another 5-6 years to play at this level. I mean, he hasn't had a major injury to where he's had to be out for an entire season or nothing like that. He's been pretty much healthy. He's had knick-knack injuries here and there, and we know he always has some kind of an ankle injury going into the Super Bowl. That's happened almost the last 3 times he's gotten here. So I'm just For real, I think it's without question that Patrick Mahomes will be in the GOAT conversation. I still don't think people will be able to call him the GOAT yet because he still has only 4 championships to Tom Brady's 7. So that will be something that will be discussed even further. But he definitely solidifies himself as he's already the best quarterback in the league. But
oh yeah,
he'll be in that conversation with Tom Brady alone. It'll be just him and Brady. It won't be him, Brady, and Montana. It'll be just him and Brady if he wins his championship on Sunday.
Yeah, true. I mean, we're in the Mahomes era. I gotta do something like Skip. Is it my turn? Right? I just wanted to do that. Right? I just wanted to feel like it's my turn. But we not the other stuff. He's allegations. We ain't gonna mess with that. So anyway, right? Yeah, we are in the Mahomes era for sure. I mean, that's without a question. I think if he three-peats, then like you said, that's something that nobody has done before. So now you have a legit argument. If you want to try to make an argument for the GOAT right now, you could. I don't think it would really hold too much just yet. But I would say at this point, it would be Brady 1A, Mahomes 1B. I wouldn't even put him as 2. I would put him right there as in now he's like that close. And this is how I feel about it. You know, call me a conspiracy theorist or not, right? I don't take nothing from Brady. I got much respect for Brady. I think the last 4, especially that last one, when you go to another team and then win in another place the first year, Brady just clearly lets you know he's GOAT status, right? But the first 3, the only thing I got to say about that, he wasn't the main guy with the first one. Those first 3 years at defense was really stacked. Plus, that was before they got caught with the Spygate. And 2 out of those 3 teams all mentioned it felt like they knew what we were going to do before we called the play. And then you only win by a field goal. So I got a little asterisk. I got respect for him, but I got asterisks for those first 3. But that's neither here nor there, right? But what we see from Mahomes, the closest comparison I have was before Kobe and Shaq broke up. Mahomes is doing what Kobe was on track to do with Jordan. Because if you think about it, they got close. So 4-peating, Shaq got hurt that year, if I'm not mistaken. But they won 3 in a row, and then the Spurs ended up beating them in the playoffs, and the Spurs won. Right? Anybody that was going to come out the West was going to beat the Nets. Right? No offense to them, they just didn't have enough. And then they had a chance to actually win 4 out of 5 years. Right? They had Gary Payton, Karl Malone, but all that stuff was going on. The Colorado thing with Kobe, Malone was supposedly hitting on Vanessa and everything. So you had a whole bunch of stuff going on. And he still made it to the finals. So, yeah, I think at this point, Mahomes will be 1B without a question. I'm going to just throw this in there real quick for time's sake. Maybe not me. I don't know if y'all watched it. I'm not going to put his, it's Dreamers Pro, right? Look, I'm going to do some research. And if anybody wants to do the debate later on, maybe in a year, I might have to defend my man Kobe. I've been doing a lot of research on Kobe versus LeBron, and I do not recall my memory of me ever saying LeBron now has surpassed him. I'm just saying that's from me. So, I might have to. I don't really do a bunch of research on that type of stuff, but if not me, I'll find somebody to do it, and I want to see that. So
Lamar coming up here with some controversy, man. It's crazy because you might be right. I don't know if I ever heard anyone say that while Kobe was playing that LeBron surpassed him. I don't know if I heard that. I know some people were just saying that he was the best player in the league, but I don't think anyone ever said that he passed Kobe. So that's a conversation that may need to be had. I know someone in Go James Kingdom is gonna disagree with that because those guys automatically they love LeBron. They said LeBron is king. They say his whole name LeBron Ramon James Jr. something like that. I don't know, something like that. So they or senior, I can't remember, but they.
Hey Dave, and last thing, there's a difference between being the GOAT and the BOAT. Greatest and best are not the same thing.
Exactly.
Right. So that's another thing.
Man, Lamar coming up here with some fire. Okay. All right, Lamar. Now we gotta. He's not the only quarterback in this situation. He's not the only quarterback that's going to be on the field this Sunday. Mm-hmm. This quarterback has gotten to the Super Bowl twice in the last 3 seasons, But you don't hear people talk that highly about him. They don't put him in that conversation as in like the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, the elite status, or anything like that. Some people would say he might not even be the best quarterback in his division right now or in his conference. So we got that. We got people saying, I'll take Jaden Daniels over him. I'll take Dak Prescott over him. It's Jalen Hurts has done nothing but win. If he wins this on Sunday, where does that put him in the quarterbacks in the league, Lamar? Where do you think that will solidify him as far as the top quarterbacks in the NFL if he wins this Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes on Sunday?
So where that will put him in the league right now, one thing I'll just say this is he has a great game because it's a difference of how you win, though. Because if they win the game, but the defense steps up and Saquon just goes, but I don't want to use the word bananas, but we just gonna say bananas, right? If he goes just off, but Jalen kind of look, average, well, nothing much is gonna change because we've seen average QBs win with great defenses, right? We've seen that. But if he actually plays a part, which I believe he will, all right, then you got to put some respect on his name at that point, right? There's no question he'll be top 10 because I know some people don't have him top 10. There's no question. Top 5, that's an argument to have because, you got Mahomes and Lamar, Josh Allen, right? Different people like that, Burrow. But, if somebody has like a Herbert up there as 5, you could be like, hey, look, Jalen Hurts actually got him there. Maybe you might want to put him above that. I'm not about to go there, but top 10, I think you got to put some respect on his name easily at that point.
I agree. I think I made a case once he got to the Super Bowl that he should just be top 5 now. Because if you think about it, who's 5? We know who top 4 is. We know it's Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Who's 5? We don't have a solidified number 5. People will want to say Matt Stafford, but what has he done lately? He hasn't done much of anything for real. You could bring up Jared Goff, but he's not in this situation. He hasn't been in the Super Bowl since he was with the Rams. I love Brock Purdy, but he's not top 5. I'll be honest. Brock Purdy's not top 5. Who else can you put up there? You can't put Herbert. He doesn't have a playoff win.
Yeah.
Definitely not Trevor Lawrence because he got the same numbers as Daniel Jones. So no.
Where's the sound effects at? Don't even bring his name up. No.
So there's no solidified top 5 quarterback right now. And I think it should automatically just go to Jalen Hurts. He's been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. And the first Super Bowl, he was all pro. He was all pro quarterback during that time. He had a great game in the Super Bowl. Yes, he had that fumble, but he balled out in the Super Bowl. That's when his defense did not step up when they needed to. The defense was not good, even though that was a top 5 defense in the league all season long. They led the league in sacks. I think they broke a record in the most sacks that they had in one season. So they had that going for him. And he was the one that pretty much showed up. He played the best out of anyone in that game. And yes, I did. Yes, I had locks. I no longer have locks anymore.
Welcome to the party. They just
welcome to the show. I had locks, but they're gone now. But yeah, I think for sure. I think it further solidifies that he's a top 5 quarterback if he wins this on Sunday. And for me, it doesn't even matter how he wins. Now, if he plays horrible, and they win, then okay, I can understand why someone might question it. But if he plays okay, he game manages and they win, and okay, Saquon goes off, defense steps up, I still think he's top 5 because there's no one else. There's no one else in that situation. There's no one else in the league that's been in this situation since who knows? Because he also did something that hasn't been done from the last 19 quarterbacks. And he was a part of that list. The last 19 quarterbacks that lost the Super Bowl have not returned.
That's true.
He's the only one that lost their first Super Bowl that has returned. So I believe that he's looking for revenge. He's looking for he's looking for a championship. And you got to give a shout out to Howie Roseman, who's been able to put him in position. He put the best weapons around him, and he's taking advantage of it. They went and drafted Jalen Carter. They got Nolan Smith. They got N'Kobe Dean. They went and got CJ Gardner Johnson back. They still got Darius Slay. They drafted Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. They got everything they need. They still got Reed Blankenship. They got Zach Bond. They got all these players on this team to help them put them where they are now. Wow. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. They got all these guys. You still got Jordan Mailata. You still got Lane Johnson on the offensive line. You got Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. And then you go sign the most coveted free agent this year and Saquon Barkley.
It's an all-star team.
You put everything, you put all the chips on the table to go all in for the season. And then people were questioning, why don't you let Saquon go for the record? That's something that hasn't been done in forever. Eric Diskin has had this record for a very long time. Give Saquon the opportunity to break it, and then to break it against his old team. But it was like, it's no point. There's no reason to do that. They have a goal in hand, and it's to go win the Super Bowl. And Jalen Hurts has played mistake-free. I think he hasn't had a turnover in the last 8 playoff games that he's been in. So, I don't know if it's the last 8 because the Super Bowl counts in that. So, I wouldn't say the last 8, but the last few Super Bowls he hasn't turned the ball over. He's played really well. He's played well enough for them to win. And we hear this about him all the time. Say, he's a winner. Mm-hmm. This right here will solidify that. If he wins the Super Bowl when he's not supposed to, because he's going up against Patrick Mahomes. Most people are picking the Chiefs because of Patrick Mahomes and the refs. Let's be honest. The rest too. The rest is another reason why most people are picking the Chiefs. Because if we look the top to bottom, the Eagles have the best team overall. They got the best. They have the number 1 defense in the league.
True.
They have the best offensive line in the league. They have the number 1 rushing attack in the league.
Yeah.
That might go to the Ravens, but they still top 5 rushing offense in the league. The only thing that's been bottom is the passing game, and that's because they haven't had to, because they got Saquon and the best offensive line in the league.
Yeah, it's true.
So I think if Jalen Hurts is to win this, I think it further solidifies that he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. Because, like I said, there's no one else that has solidified that. Like, we had guys back in the day to where we could point to and say, yeah, those guys are top 5. Peyton, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger was in that conversation as well. Eli was not. People who think he should have been first by the Hall of Fame, that's because he got 2 Super Bowl titles against Tom Brady. Other than that, he was an average quarterback. Let's just be honest about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of similar. I mean, not to cut you off, but you had some people that started off slow in the regular season, like what was his Joe Cool, the second Joe Cool. Joe Namath was the first Joe Cool, but slipping my mind. Ravens, Joe
Flacco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he would turn up in the playoffs. You have Phillip Rivers kind of opposite. He had great, regular season.
And then just couldn't do nothing in the postseason.
Yeah, postseason, just like Herbert. So, yeah, I mean, I think, it's respectable to put him up if you want to put him top 5 because, he does win. One thing I'm going to say, do this on the come up. You already know what I'm about to say. That boy, JD5 is on the move. Hey, look, if it's no sophomore slump, and then once again, if it's 3 years in a row, I don't want to have no conversation at that point.
We know how it is. You got to do it 3 times in order for it to be real.
Oh yeah,
we know exactly how it goes. That's why 3 is my favorite number. So, I don't think there should be any. Yeah. I'm sorry. If he's average, then yes. I mean, who else can we possibly put above him? Even if he's averaging in the game. Let's say he throws for 150 yards, 1 touchdown, and also has a rushing touchdown. And that's not that much. But let's say Saquon goes off for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he balls out. I mean, he plays if he throws If he throws, if he's mistake free in this game, he has no fumbles, then I think it's without question that he's top five. We did throw Matt Stafford in, from what I remember. Matt Stafford has been in a conversation to be in top five, but we all knew Matt Stafford was a really good quarterback. He was in Detroit. That's the thing. He was just in Detroit. If he was somewhere else for a while, I think Matt Stafford would have been top five because he had the numbers. He had Megatron. It's just that he was in a bad organization with Detroit. They just did not know what winning was. They still kind of sort of don't know what winning is, but they have at least gotten to the NFC Championship game within the last 2 years. So, but people have been putting Matt Stafford in there the last few times. But who else? Who would be in that top five if it's not Jalen Hurts right now? If he wins this game, I think you got to give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, just wrapping up. I think Stafford probably is right five right now, but I think once again, I think it's how you win. I think as long as he plays good, I need him to play at least
good. That's what I'm saying. If he plays terrible, then you can't put him up there. But if he has an okay game, he plays mistake free. I mean, that's my question. Who are we going to put in top five if it's not him? Are we going to keep Matt Stafford there, even though Matt Stafford hasn't been in this position since 2021?
That part that's the argument to have because, I mean, how he played against the Eagles. I mean, during the playoffs, who was the first one? They cooked the Vikings. So I mean, it wasn't like Matt Stafford. I don't think played. I had to look at his stats. As far as I remember, I don't think he played terrible. So
no, he
I don't know. Yeah,
he didn't play terrible. But I mean, is it a foregone conclusion that Matt Stafford is top five and Hurts can't do anything to overtop that?
I don't know. Of course not. I mean, because once again, if he has, I mean, and Joe just put it in the chat. I mean, if he does that, if he actually wins the Super Bowl MVP, without a question.
Yeah, that's without question. Without question. He wins Super Bowl MVP, it's without question. But if he plays a good game, if he plays exactly like he did in the first Super Bowl, then there should be absolutely no argument. None whatsoever. Great. So that's that. All right, Lamar, now we got to get our picks in. Who will win and why? And I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
This is definitely not good for me because I don't like either one of these teams.
Neither do I.
I don't want to see a three-peat, and I don't want to see the Eagles celebrate because I'm going to have to deal with it in the NFL chat and the Refuse to Lose chat. I'm going to have to deal with it, and I'm going to have to deal with it all season. However, after what I've seen this season and the way things have been going, because there are a lot of similarities of everything going on, the Chiefs haven't allowed a 100-yard rush in their last 18 playoff games. So, and they're going up against the best running back they faced in the Super Bowl in Saquon Barkley. Now they did face Christian McCaffrey last year, but Saquon Barkley's on a totally different mission now. I'm gonna be honest about it. I'm biased when it comes to Saquon. I mean, when it comes to CMC because he's on my team, but Saquon Barkley is having a phenomenal season.
Is that dude?
I think the Eagles win this game. I think the Eagles win the Super Bowl. I think the Eagles win, and I think it's because this defense has improved so much, and they just. I've been hearing this that they all just swarm to the ball. We heard this last night with Sharif Miller when he was on the show, and if you continue to just look at the tape and you see what happens, no matter what, when they're making a tackle, when they're attacking someone, you see multiple Eagles in the area. There's never just one or two. It's at least 3, 4, 5 right there, and they're attacking. And they don't have the numbers to say that this is an elite defensive line. But Jalen Carter has been dangerous. He's been dangerous this postseason. He made key plays after key play, especially in that Rams game. He made a key play to not allow the Rams to come back and win that game because Matt Stafford was definitely putting him in position, and then Jalen Carter just made a play that needed to be played.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the corners, the two young corners who, I knew they were really good, but not a lot of people thought that they were going to be this good this soon with Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell went to a small school, and then Cooper DeJean went to Iowa. He's a white cornerback. Nobody thought that they thought he should move to safety, but no, he plays corner, and he's a really good cornerback. Darius Slay is still there to lead this team, and then you got Saquon Barkley. For me, I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to contain Saquon Barkley. I think Saquon Barkley is going to go crazy in this game. I really do. I think I think it's possible he goes for 100, 150 plus, 2 touchdowns. I think he's gonna have a great game this game. Now I know they have Nick Bolton on that defense and Chris Jones. I know this defense for the Chiefs is good. Don't get me wrong. This is not me saying that the Chiefs defense is not good enough to stop them. But I don't know, man. It just feels like it's meant for them to win it for some reason. I even with everything that's been going on with the Chiefs and the refs and how they feel about all of that stuff, I think this is the Eagles' season. I think it's their season to actually go and win it. Like you said, they already did something that hasn't been done. Jalen Hurts got to the Super Bowl after losing his first one. So he broke that curse. Now it's time to go, break the Chiefs. It's time to go break the Chiefs and end a three-peat, and a possible three-peat, and go win the championship. And I think that's what happens. I think the Eagles win this game. I think the defense steps up, makes some key plays. I think they force Mahomes to have a turnover, and that's something that he doesn't necessarily do a lot in this situation in the Super Bowl. But I think they have a team good enough to be able to do that. And whether it's him or they force a fumble, but I think. And then there's not going to be any weather, no slippery field or nothing like that to cause anything, because they're playing in New Orleans in the dome.
Yep, in the dome. Yeah.
I think it goes to the Eagles. I think the Eagles win this game.
I mean, look, this time around, if we thought that first one was a great game, I think this one's going to surpass it. I think it's going to top it. Not too many times does a sequel end up being better than the original one, right? But I think this one, you said something interesting there. Now, shout out to the last of a dying breed. I don't know what his last name was, but you said the white corner, right? Because last white corner I can think of that was really good was on like the Giants back in the day.
Yep.
I can't even, so that's the last of a dying breed. But I'll say this. I think everything you just said probably will happen, and we might see it early in the first half. You may see an early Patrick Mahomes turnover. You may see Saquon go off for a big run early on. And I think, you're going to start hearing Fly, Eagles Fly very early on. They're going to be going nuts. But one thing to always keep in mind is there's a tale of two halves. And great coaches always make adjustments. And it's a reason why Brady and Belichick did not sweat it when they were down 28-3. And so this is the type of things that, see, when you haven't been there and finished the job yet, like Kobe, like, why you not smiling? Job finished yet? Job not done yet, right? So I can see them getting overly excited, and it comes down to coaching, the QB, and experience. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to get rattled. He's very cool, calm, and collected. I like how he carries himself. I think it'll be fine. But if you can come down to coaching at the end, I'm putting my money on Andy Reid. He's going to make some adjustments. If it comes down to quarterback play at the end, no offense to Hurts, I think he'll do his job. But Mahomes, I don't bet against Mahomes. It's just like Brady, right? And that experience in that moment, they're not going to fluster. They're not going to be overly excited. And if it comes down to the end, right, if the ball – they better hope they got the ball at the end and they can run the clock out with Barkley. Because if they give the ball to Patrick Mahomes, you know what he did. What was it, 13 seconds? So the Bills know. Any Bills fan, let me know. How many seconds was it, right? Because you saw what happened. So I think it ends up being a close one just like it was the first year. But I got the Chiefs. pulling out the 3P. I see what you're saying. It does feel like the Eagles may win. The only way I'm okay with the Eagles winning is if we win in the next 2 years, but I don't know if it's going to happen just yet. So I need the 3P to happen first time to happen. A black quarterback did it. I'm cool with that. But then hopefully the Chiefs fall off because the Raiders are being torched every year for them. So that's it.
Well, if you know me, I could care less about the Raiders. I hope they suck for the rest of their, of their existence.
You see, that's why the Niners keep losing them Super Bowl. See how they go? Y'all lose.
Man. All right, so just another quick question. Who do you think wins the Super Bowl MVP? Mahomes?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I don't see how they're gonna give it to anybody unless I'm trying to think who would actually beast out. It had to be something absurd. Like if Kelsey does something like, I don't know, 150 yards, which is crazy. If he does something like that, or maybe 11 receptions, 127 yards, and maybe he has 3 touchdowns, probably not 2. Probably they ain't gonna give it to him, but 3, maybe. But yeah, I would say probably Mahomes.
Yeah, I would give it to. I think if it's someone on offense, it's Saquon. If it's defense, I think it would be Jalen Carter. That's what I think it'll be for the Eagles.
Yeah, respectable.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's the show for today, y'all. Glad y'all were able to tune in. We gave y'all some great content. If you're not a part of the chats now, become an R2 member today. We're growing. We just got a new superstar member, and Mike. So Mike, we appreciate you for that, for becoming a superstar member, man. And it's only gonna go up from here. We have some great content coming your way. After today, you'll see us again on Tuesday. But I got to give a special shout out to our superstar members. You got me, Joe, Tomo, Teddy, Cardo, Coach Coombs, Vaughn, Lamar. You are a superstar member too, correct?
I don't know if it's still on there now. If it's All-Star, I'm superstar All-Star.
Lamar, Chris, Decorius, and Mike. So appreciate all the superstar members that we have, man. We appreciate y'all. We really do. And we appreciate you for becoming a member because we know you will be a member after today's show. And other than that, man, we will see y'all next time. Shout out to Lambo Anlo on the song. Shout out to Ed Hahn on the artwork. And then, of course, I got to give a shout out to all the channels, BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Make sure you tune in to watch that. CTC, Carl Talking College. He will have a show coming out today. So make sure you tune into that. Maybe coming in the next, I don't know, next 10 minutes or so. Who knows? Next 15 minutes. I'm not sure. But just know he has a show coming out as well. RBO with Vaughn. He just had a huge show that I was on talking about the trade with Jimmy Butler and Kyle Kuzma. So definitely make sure you watch RBO. Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs is a fantasy football show. So tune into that. He gives you great fantasy football content and he comes with great energy as well. So you want to tune into that. Then you got Unfazed with Joe and AJ. You got a Commanders fan and the Eagles fan and then the Lakers Kings fan on the same show. So you want to tune into that because they are unfazed, really unfazed. You're watching the R2O show now with me, Joe, and Tomo, of course. So you're watching the main show. You have Dave's Doghouse, which is mine. You see that is my name up top. So I pretty much just give you highlights and lowlights of anyone involved in sports. If you have a lowlight, you do something bad in sports, you're put in the doghouse. But if you do something phenomenal, something exceptional, or something that has never been done before, you will be in the yard as a dog and you'll be able to celebrate. And then I have a big dog of the week. So if you have the best performance out of everyone, you will get a single shine out of everyone else. That's the doghouse. Then you got In the Red Corner, of course. In the Red Corner is strictly a boxing show with Tomo, Ricky, and Ty. It is the best boxing show that you will see in a podcast and on YouTube. It's the best show you'll see. Trust me. Because you get it from 3 different perspectives. You get some laughs and some jokes and some really good debates on there. So you want to tune into all of those shows. Those are all the shows that are on the network. You want to become a member, you got Pro member at $2.99, you got All-Star member at $4.99, Superstar member at $9.99. Trust me, the perks that you get are phenomenal. You can ask about topics on the show. You can be in all the chats if you're a Superstar member. So Superstar member is where you want to be. I mean, let me just tell you that. You want to be a Superstar member. You can be All-Star and be in multiple chats, but you want to be in that VIP chat because you get something that you don't see. Playoff games, Super Bowl championship games, that's where all the action goes. And if it's a heavy topic, something that's a debate that's been created, that's also where we go because that's something that could possibly be on the show. So you want to be a Superstar member, and you could do it today. Just click that link in the bio. And all of this is on Instagram. And we have chats on there where we give you breaking news and everything, where I pretty much do all the breaking news. Some people call me Dave Shefty. They call me Dave Woj, the Dave Bomb, Dave Shams, whatever it is. I'm the one normally giving all the sports news information. So we have NBA, NFL, we have hockey, we have baseball, we got soccer, college football, college basketball, men and women. We got F1 racing, boxing. We got it all. And it's all on Instagram. If you want to join these chats, you want to become a member, you can follow me on Instagram, and I'll send you the link, and we'll add you to the chat that you want to be a part of once you become a member today. So again, we appreciate y'all for watching today's show. Tune in next time. See you guys Tuesday. Until then, peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.